This 8mm f1.4 lens may be Fujifilm's best optical achievement for the XF system so far, including the legendary 60mm f1.4. But it's also not a lens I'm going to immediately buy despite its many qualities. And you may be in the same situation. I owned and used the 16 f4.4 but ended up selling it. The 24mm equivalent field of view was always too wide for me, which was in the end the reason for letting it go. 28mm on the other hand is one of my most used focal lengths, so I was really excited to hear about the new 80mm Fuji lens. It took a lot longer than I thought to get my hands on one. It's not a cheap lens, so buying it just for a test was not an option for me. Luckily, I was able to get it through Fujifilm loan program, which is available for anyone based in the UK. So this is not a sponsored video, and I'll give you my honest reasons why this amazing piece of glass is not the best buy for me and potentially for you as well. And was the wait worth it? Let me tell you this. The Fuji XF 80mm f1.4 lens is so good that it cured me from lusting after the Leica Q or Q2. The first reason is that if I can mount a lens of this quality on a small but capable Fuji X-E3 or X Pro 3, it makes absolutely zero sense to choose a fixed lens 28mm camera despite being a full-frame Leica. And it's not about money either. On the used market, the Leica Q and X Pro 3 with the 80mm lens will go for about the same amount, and I can get probably the Q a bit cheaper after shopping around. It's not about money, it's about the flexibility that only an interchangeable camera can give you. Then there is a second reason, but we'll get to that later. And enough about Leica. This video is not a comparison between this lens and the famous compact from Wetzlar. It's about the best wide-angle lens Fujifilm has ever made, and why, despite saying that, I will not be buying it. Every time I get a new lens, I start running around taking various test shots just to get a feel for it and get the initial idea of what that piece of glass can do. I usually never show these test shots in my videos, mostly because they are just snaps of what was around me at the moment, but with this lens I need to make an exception. Even the mostly careless snapshots are really good. I was just happy snapping everyone and everything around me, sometimes even forgetting to check if my exposure was correct. I usually get this feeling when I absolutely trust the lens I'm using. My Leica TL primes are like that, and the Fuji 35mm f1.4 as well. Some lenses I need to warm up to and learn to trust them. With the 80mm badass, it was love at first sight. It helped that this lens is built to the latest and greatest Fujifilm lens quality standard. This means metal mount, metal barrel, metal focus ring and metal aperture ring. It's really well built and sturdy. And even though it's an all-metal construction, Fujifilm managed to keep the weight down while keeping the lens sturdy and solid. It feels absolutely great and doesn't throw the X Pro 3 out of balance even despite its larger size. On the X-E3 with additional grip, the handling was even better. The lens focus ring is super smooth, it turns infinitely since it's still focused by wire, but it doesn't matter because even on an old camera like the X-E3, autofocus is precise and very fast. What's more important is how smooth the aperture ring is. It clicks firmly and has the new design with added lock button in case you prefer the aperture to be set by camera. I will not bother you reading detailed specifications, but when I look at it as a whole, it screams versatility. The 28mm equivalent focal length has been used for documentary photography exactly for the way of being very versatile. Being very intimate while still preserving a wide field of view and including as much story to the frame as possible. This is probably why it's been the preferred focal length for the main lens on every smartphone for the past many years. Ricoh compacts, including modern GRs, have had it for ages. It's just a very versatile focal length. And so it was absolutely crucial for this 80mm lens to have all the features that make a great all-round prime. Such a lens needs fast autofocus to not miss the spontaneous moments, it needs corner-to-corner sharpness and excellent image quality so it can be used for landscapes, it needs to control distortion so it can be used for environmental portraits, and it needs to be able to focus close so you can get objects singled out and separated. And Fujifilm made all of this possible. They used a very fast and silent linear motor, which makes the autofocus performance of this lens absolutely incredible. I have not used a faster focusing lens on my Fuji or any other camera. It's addictive at this level of speed, and I found myself more than a few times just looking through my camera viewfinder and focusing on different subjects, marveling at the speed with which this lens nailed its focus every single time. On top of speed and accuracy, I enjoyed the equally addictive close focus ability. This is something I enjoyed with my 60mm f1.4. That super close focus ability combined with a wide field of view and shallow depth of field gives the images completely unique look and feel. And although the 18 f1.4 lens doesn't focus as close as the 60mm, it's close enough that a subject just 11 centimeters from the front lens element can be entirely in focus. An aperture set to 1.4 makes you take creative close-up photographs. But this would not be enough if resulting image quality wasn't on par with the lens build quality and technical abilities. And it isn't, it's actually even better. The best thing about the 18 f1.4 lens is that it's entirely optically corrected. Unlike many of the Fujifilm lenses, this one does not rely on software corrections and renders straight lines from corner to corner, edge to edge, all the way from f1.4 to f16. Wide-angle lenses are not always valued for how they render the autofocus areas, but with this lens is definitely something worth mentioning. The close focus ability combined with fast aperture means that you can actually blur your background quite a lot under the right circumstances. And when you nail it, the results look incredible. The bokeh quality is similar to the old 23mm f1.4, which is widely regarded as a lens with some of the best bokeh from any wide-angle Fujifilm X-mount lens. It's nicely smooth and very pleasing. The 9 aperture blades make for some ridiculous nice-looking sunstars. I found myself standing under a tree and snapping one after another. It's so addictive. And the lens must be well coated because I did not see any unwanted flares, despite the fact it does not have the nano GI coating from the 16 f1.4. It really doesn't matter if you shoot this lens at f1.4 or f16. Sharpness, contrast, colors, it all will be nice and consistent. You will just want to snap one photo after another and another. And as a bonus, the lens will sit and handle well on the majority of Fujifilm cameras. It is larger than its dated predecessor, but makes up for it with lower than expected weight, incredible autofocus speed, zero distortion, very good sharpness across the frame, even wide open, great quality autofocus areas, and resulting stellar image quality. You can throw this lens at virtually anything and be confident to get good results. And yet, it is not a lens for me, and I dare to say it's also not for everyone. If I was a wedding photographer working with 2 Fujifilm bodies, this would be my first choice for a wide-angle prime. If I was a die-hard of an 8mm Fujifilm shooter who doesn't see the world better in any other focal length, this would be my mount and forget lens. If I was a vlogger running around making videos with the Fuji X-S10, this would be my first and only choice. But I'm none of those. I don't mind the 20mm field of view. I use it on my Ricoh GR3 all the time, and my iPhone comes with one too. I'm used to it, I can use it, I can compose with it, but my heart is at or around the classic Nifty 50. And I can't change that. Can't change how my brain sees photographs. And that is why I will not be buying this lens to use on my Fujifilm cameras. I will not spend loads of money on a lens that will end up sitting in my closet most of the time. I've been there and done that with the 16 1.4, which can actually be had for much less when you shop around on the used market.